Well, I had a little oopsie here. Crap. Hey, what's going on guys? It is Jack here, and today I'm super excited to show you my first ever Jurassic Park MOC. I've built a bunch of stuff from Jurassic World, but I've never actually made something from Jurassic Park, so this was kind of my first delve into the original movie. And what makes that fun is that it's not as high-tech as Jurassic World. You can't include all these fancy gadgets and beeping lights and all the stuff you would see from Jurassic World. You kind of have to tone it down because, keep in mind, Jurassic Park only came out in the 1990s. But if you couldn't already tell, this is the scene where the T-Rex breaks out of his enclosure when the power goes off and there's no more electricity connected to the fence. Now I will go ahead and say this T-Rex is not custom made. It actually came from the Jurassic Park set, and I really wanted to use the T-Rex ever since I got that set a few months back. My one gripe is that it's slightly bigger than minifigure scale, so this thing looks absolutely gigantic, especially when you put little Alan Grant right next to him, but I'm fine with that, because it looks so good. So I modeled the size of the fence after this T-Rex. It's not as big as the T-Rex, which makes sense, but it is pretty big, especially when you put a minifigure directly next to this MOC. You'll see, oh my gosh, this thing towers over the figures. And that's what I was going for. The biggest thing with the T-Rex in Jurassic Park was that it was the biggest and the baddest thing in the entire movie, so you wanted it to feel amazing and scary and big and just overwhelmingly dangerous. So that's what I tried to emulate here. When you put a figure next to all this, you're like, I gotta get out of here. Now the first part I actually built for this MOC was the terrain itself, and I wanted to make sure this was the most jungly terrain I've ever made. I tend to make things that are pretty simplistic when it comes to terrain, so I really beefed this thing up with a bunch of different kinds of greens, and there's actually no sand green in here. I did not want to include sand green because it just doesn't make sense for a jungle. So you'll see dark green, the regular green, some lime green, some olive green, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I love that color as well. And then you'll see a bunch of bamboo pieces, flower stem pieces, a bunch of foliage pieces that really sell the jungle vibe, and that extends a little bit back into the actual fence itself. The fence does not actually just create a thick barrier. There's a little sliver where some foliage is growing in between. I like the way that looks. It adds some extra character and some dimension to the build. But as for the actual fence, this part was the tricky part to build. I really wish, and I really do wish, it had more wiring to it, but I did not have enough Technic pieces or these gigantic tube pieces that bend, because those things are actually really useful, because if I take the T-Rex out, you can see they make the illusion of the T-Rex actually breaking the wires and the wires being broken off of the actual barricades that hold them together. I really wish I had multiple of those, or more than two, because then it would just sell this fence a whole lot better. But I am lucky that I have two, because they are gigantic pieces and you don't see them in a lot of sets. But lastly, you have an open spot in the middle for the T-Rex to stand there so she can look all mighty and dangerous. It looks really cool in pictures and video, but I think it looks even better in person. But that's really all there is to this MOC. If you want to see more Jurassic World or Jurassic Park MOCs, leave some suggestions down below in the comment section. I might actually build some and shout you out for it if I like the idea, but that is all I have to say. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and most importantly, take care guys.